Alright, what's up everyone? I have been watching some charts for a while and I wanted to put some stuff out there but didn't really get a chance to. So this is going to be a really quick kind of a lightning round blast through some charts. Some of these are going to be good, some of these probably not, because again these setups were prior to today. So let's take a look real quick at some things. This is on video format so you can re-watch it and pause to take some notes down on levels if you like what you see here. We're gonna start with Etsy. You can see we've got some clear support down here in that 99, kind of 99.5 area. We had a downtrend here, zoom in a little bit. We did pop out of it here, but then we came back down. So you see resistance, 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 resistance. We're just above it now. So ETSY, maybe keep this one as long as it's above that downward trend line there. These are going to be some shorter term charts for the time being. Google, what did I have on this one? So this one we had some resistance over here. If we zoom out a little bit, you can see some resistance here. It broke above that but couldn't hold, broke above that but couldn't hold. This one's kind of out. The pre-market area was the point to enter on that one. So this one, we're going to skip Google for now. Next on the list, LLY. There's a little delay because I've got some screen sharing software running, so my computer's a little delayed. But LLY, you can see some clear resistance here, clear resistance here. So I like LLY short below 30 or 375. Again, this is one of those ones where earlier in the day had a better entry, so it's a little bit off now. You can see that clear resistance twice there, so below 375, LLY, I like it short. MRK is next. So MRK is kind of a similar setup. We have a clear resistance here. We had some resistance here. Got above it just a little bit, but it couldn't really hold, and we're back below that. So MRK below that 115.5 area. You can see we did break above it a little bit, but just couldn't hold there, and we're currently below that again. So for MRK, watching that 115.5 area, which was clear resistance there, and it's struggling in this current time frame here. MRK. Next up, CRM. CRM has some resistance here. Zoom out a little bit, see if there's anything more. There was on this one. So we have clear resistance over here, clear resistance here. We got above it, but we couldn't sustain that move. You can see if we zoom in, there was a little bit of a head and shoulders here after that run, and then we did have a nice downward move from that point. We're back above that area, so the 194-ish area. Again, if I zoom back out here, we've got clear resistance, a little bit of a pop above it, but couldn't hold. Now we're back above it. So CRM, I like it above this 194, the low 194 area. If you're long on this one, you can use that 194 area as a stop on that one. We're going to move out a little bit. This is now a daily chart. We're going to go and start with cost. This one I've been watching for a little bit. It's not quite ready to go yet. There are the lines on it. You can see we're in some compression here. We're definitely getting some compressed price action, which Costco is one of those tickers that can move pretty good. So once we break out of this compression, Costco should be good for a nice little move. Don't know what direction it's going to go. We're still within this compression zone here, so I'm not trying to predict it breaking to the upside or downside. This is one to just keep on watch and see what it's going to do, but definitely getting some compressed price action on Costco. Next up is MU. What I like about MU is, let that line pop up on the screen there. There we go. We've got some resistance, 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 resistance. So MU is really struggling with this middle 64 area. We're getting some higher lows each time we bounce off of it. That's a good sign if you're bullish, but we do want to see if it can break above the 64.44 area for MU. Next up, Visa. Visa has a resistance point that we've been flirting with here. So it's kind of a zone. This isn't a specific level I have, it's more of a zone. We had resistance there, resistance there, resistance there, resistance there. So Visa is kind of struggling in this area here, but this is one of those things where we've had a series of higher highs, higher lows. I do want to see if we can break above that level there for Visa. Next up is PFE. This isn't a name that I trade too often or actually regularly at all. I have a support zone that I had here. It hit that level there. We broke through it. It kind of became resistance, broke through it. We're back in that area. So this was one of the ones I had on watch from a while back that just kind of popped up on the radar again. This is not my favorite chart out of the ones I'm showing you guys, but you can see there's a clear support zone here. We broke below it, tried to get back above it. We're in that area there. So see if this 40-ish area can hold on PFE. If not, maybe we can go back to the downside on this one. Target would be this low here and a break below that. But again, that one's not really my favorite out of these. ACN. So ACN has a clear downward trend here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of resistance. We tried to break through it. We couldn't hold it. We're back below that area. So ACN is one that's kind of on watch to see if we can break this downward trend. It did get there, but it couldn't hold, but it didn't drop too far from that area. So I want to see if we can hold here and maybe break below, or sorry, break above that downward trend line on ACN. Only 2 more to go. MDLZ is next up on the list. What do we have for MDLZ? This one here, we've got clear resistance here. At the time, this was actually the all-time high for MDLZ, and then you can see we kind of rejected there. So we made an all-time high, we pushed down, we broke through it recently, and now we're heading back towards it. So on this one, what I want to see is once it broke to a new all-time high, I want to see it come back and test this previous level here. So that's 69.47. We're 69.96 now. So we had a nice move above that to about 72. Now we're coming back down to test that previous all-time high. So let's see if that middle 69 area can hold for MDLZ. And last but not least, LRCX. LRCX, there we go. We have a clear resistance line here, which corresponds with this downward trend line from the top here. Let's make it a little bit easier to see. Let's get rid of that line. We have support here, and it tried to hold this support, but it couldn't really. So we've got this little kind of compression, and we broke below it today. So if we zoom in a little bit, you can see the entry on this one today was earlier this morning. So this one wasn't really, it was ready to go before today. And looking at this one a little bit late, you can see it was up here about 490. It did drop to about 483, and it's trying to come back a little bit now. So that one might be one to watch because we missed the entry on it already. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's get this price action pretty clear. So you can see we have a downward trend line there, an upward trend line here. We're just below that. But again, this chart was set up previously, and I'm just getting a chance to look at it now. So that one's a little bit late on the entry there, but let's keep an eye on that, see if we can pop back in there. Maybe we can come back up, test this level here on this trend line, and then reject again. That's it for now. Again, I just wanted to throw some charts out there because it's been a while. I've got some things coming up. We're going to do some charting live with a buddy of mine. You guys know him. I'm going to keep it a secret until we get the first video out there. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to do some live charting, possibly some live trading on those charts, so you can see not only how we set up the chart, but how we actually trade the entry and exit live off of those charts. So keep an eye out for that. That's coming up soon. And let's see, the lunchtime hour on the East Coast is about over. So let's get back to the charts. I will see you guys another time. Thanks.